With that, we bring in Ohio Republican Governor Mike DeWine. Governor, I'm listening to these individuals, and the man who says, we have to put up a no vacancy sign. We can't absorb any more people. And I think the underlying thought there is it's not, that people don't want to help people. It's just that all of your services are so overwhelmed. How did this happen? How did this happen to Springfield, Ohio? What's your explanation?
Well, Martha, you're absolutely right. I think people are used to and expect some immigrants to come in, but you gave the numbers. It's a community of 58,000 the last census. 15,000 people came in on top of that. So that's a dramatic change, whether they came from Haiti or wherever they came from. And look, why did they come? They came for jobs. When you talk to the employers who are employing them, they'll tell you, look, they're very hard workers. They're very family-oriented. One employer was quoted saying, I wish I could hire 100 other ones to fill the jobs that we have. So that's why they came. But I don't think anybody expected that, that big of a surge. I mean, basically what happens is, they're here under a classification. There's 16 countries under this classification. And when they come in, they can then apply for that. And the reason Haiti is in there is because it's an extremely violent country. And a country that since the president was killed 2 years ago, the gangs are basically running the country. So, that's why they fled Haiti, and that's why they are here.
You support that program. You support TPS, right?
Yeah. Sure.
The protected...
Sure. Look, we have...
Go ahead.
Yeah, Martha, we've always had some program. We've always had some program like that. Remember, well, you don't remember, but I remember way back, in the 50s and 60s, we did that with Cuba when Castro was there. So there's nothing wrong with us being welcoming, but I think the federal government has an obligation. If you look at the people of Springfield, they had nothing to do with this decision. No one in Ohio had anything to do with it. Basically, people will come in and they're given papers, and then they can go wherever they want to. And what has happened is, as happens many times with immigrants, they go where there are other people from that country. But this has been dramatic. My point is the federal government needs to give Springfield some help. They need to give Ohio some help. Your reporter pointed out very well the problems. We have problems with primary care. They come, 15,000 people who came from a country that has virtually no medical care. In the last 2 years, it's gotten even worse as the doctors have fled Haiti. So we have to make sure that these people are immunized, that the children are immunized. We have to make sure that it's in
but how did this? I guess the question is,
I
understand the burden that this puts on you, and I know you and your wife have a charity in Haiti in the name of your daughter who was killed in a car accident, and that's good work. There's no doubt about that. But you have supported this program of temporary protection for different countries. But whose fault is it? Do you blame the Biden-Harris administration for the fact that you are now dealing with something that is taking away the livelihood and the safety of people who live in Springfield, Ohio for generations?
Yeah, Martha, I don't necessarily support the specifics of all of the program. What I said is the concept. I want to be very honest. The concept of us helping people in countries where the people are risking their lives, if just even staying there. We've always been able to do that. But what I object to is there was no plan to go with it. We have, for example, people who are called refugees, and the government, if they place them somewhere, they put the support in there. They have a plan. The problem here is there is absolutely no plan at all when these people came in. And yes, I certainly blame the administration.
So what are they doing for you? Have you been on the phone with, I'm sorry to interrupt, Kevin. Have you called President Biden and talked to him about what's going on in Springfield?
Look, I've talked to the White House. I've made it very clear the situation we are in. I told them we are looking for some federal help. I told them that we will continue to look at the different streams of federal dollars that are coming in to see if we can qualify, but we would like some help. They have said we will try to help you. And so we're in a conversation back and forth. My point, though, is a governor shouldn't have to do this. A mayor shouldn't have to do this. There should be a program. This is a decision but it's made at the White House level about how many countries are on this list, who is let in, how all this happens. And so we really need an overall plan. This won't be the last place.
I mean, we see what's happening in Aurora, Colorado as well. And I watch, stories about this on other channels. I have, all the different networks on, and I'm watching what everyone's saying in my workspace here. And, they're saying that it's all a big lie, that there's nothing wrong in Springfield, that nothing, that everything's okay. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely not. No, look, this is a massive increase in population. And whether they're from Haiti or wherever they're from, there would be huge challenges. There's more challenges, frankly, because it comes from a country that does not have medical care. It also comes from a country where the driving habits, the driving laws are fundamentally different. So one of the things that we're doing is to try, we brought in, as you said, the Highway Patrol. They've been in now for the third day to run traffic so the local police can go about their normal business and we can handle, a lot of the traffic. So we're going to do what we need to do. But the federal government
are these Haitian migrants allowed to drive
responsibility.
Vehicles in this town? Are they allowed to get driver's licenses?
Law in Ohio says that if you are 18 years of age and you are here legally, which they are.
Under this program,
yes, under this program, that you can get a driver's license. The problem is that once you're 18 in Ohio, there's no requirement that you have to have any driver's training.
What do you want the National Guard members to? You're sending the National Guard in. What do you want them to do? What's
Not
their
sending
mandate?
the Guard in, I'm sending the patrol in. Patrol's mandate is to run traffic. That's what they do.
Okay.
We don't have a state police in Ohio, but we have people, the Highway Patrol are very, very good. They run traffic. Again, we want to give the people in Springfield some assurance that we're watching the roads because there's been reports of erratic driving, and that is just not acceptable.
Yeah,
and
well,
if
I
you
hope
live in Springfield, or if I live there, you'd want somebody to come in and take care of that problem.
Absolutely, Governor. And I really hope you get some response from the White House. They say that this can only be handled in Congress, and we know how much power the White House has when it comes to issues of migration. Their powers are clear. Thank you very much, Governor DeWine. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks, Martha.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.